On my way. Netflix has conquered the world. In its 23-year history, it has grown from a mail-based movie rental service into a multi-billion-dollar, over-the-top content platform and production company. It completely changed the way that shows and movies are made and presented, as well as how entertainment is consumed. This was even made more apparent due to the global health situation, since basically everybody was being forced to stay inside their homes. As the popularity of Netflix continued to grow, so does the popularity of its content. With original programming and movies for subscribers to watch over and over again, the service ensures that they always have something to watch. Today, we're counting down Netflix's most watched movies of all time. You definitely don't want to miss this. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We're going to be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, so be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to enter the giveaway. It's that simple. Number 10, The Perfect Date. The Perfect Date is a teen-oriented rom-com based on the novel The Stand-In by Steve Bloom. It was released in 2019 and stars Noah Centineo, Laura Marano, Camila Mendez, Odysseus Georgiadis, and Matt Walsh. It was directed by Chris Nielsen and filmed in New Orleans, Louisiana. Currently, it has a 65% approval rating on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes. The Perfect Date is about a high school senior named Brooks Radigan, played by Noah Centineo. He really wants to go to college at Yale, but is being pushed to go to the University of Connecticut by his dad since he got a full scholarship to go there. He can't afford to go to Yale, so, together with his buddy Murph, played by Odysseus Georgiadis, he creates an app to make money by acting as a +1 for all occasions. This ends up leading to a romantic entanglement that you'll just have to see to know more about. Number 9, The Platform. The Platform is a Spanish social science fiction horror movie and was released in 2019 with stars Ivan Mascu, Antonia San Juan, Zorian Aguilar, Emilio Bull Coca, and Alexandra Muscangi. Currently, it sits on Rotten Tomatoes with an 80% approval rating. The Platform takes place in a big tower with a vertical self-management center. The people inside are switched every 30 days between the floors of the tower. Everyone inside is fed using the platform, which is filled with food at the top floor. Food descends from one level to another through the tower, giving the people at each level an allotted amount of time to eat some food. This, of course, leads to problems because the people on the top floors of the tower get to eat as much as they want, and the people at the bottom don't get much at all. The director stated that the message of the movie is that, quote, humanity will have to move towards the fair distribution of wealth, which is clearly demonstrated through its concept. Number 8, The Wrong Missy. The Wrong Missy is a rom-com starring David Spade, Lauren Lapkus, Jeff Pearson, Sarah Chalk, Molly Sims, Nick Swardson, Jackie Sandler, Chris Witzke, and Roman Reigns. It came out in May of 2020 and was directed by Tyler Spindell, which is based upon a screenplay by Chris Pappas and Kevin Barnett. The movie was produced by Adam Sandler's Happy Madison Productions and currently has a 33% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. In The Wrong Missy, David Spade plays a guy named Tim Morris who ends up meeting a woman named Missy, played by Lauren Lapkus, on a blind date. The date doesn't go well due to Missy's strange behavior. Tim, though, later meets a nice lady named Melissa, who could also be called Missy, played by Molly Sims. Without giving too much away, the bulk of the movie takes place in Hawaii, where David Spade and Lauren Lapkus characters get into a number of hilarious situations. It was partially Lapkus's time to shine in a feature-length film. Number 7, Triple Frontier. Triple Frontier is an action-adventure movie that stars Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, and Charlie Hunnam, along with Garrett Helden and Pedro Pascal. It was released in 2019 and directed by J.C. Chander, who also wrote the screenplay together with Mark Bull. The movie was filmed in Colombia as well as Hawaii. It languished for about 10 years before actually being made, with many stars including Tom Hanks, Will Smith, Johnny Depp, Tom Hardy, and Channing Tatum supposedly to star in at various times. Currently, Currently, it sits at a 70% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Triple Frontier, which referred to as the Tres Fronteras area of South America, where there is known to be a lot of drug trafficking, is about a group of former U.S. Army Delta Force soldiers who reunite to steal from a South American crime lord. It combines the intrigue of a heist film with military special forces style action, along with a great cast to bring it all to life. Number 6, The Irishman. The Irishman is a crime film that was produced and directed by legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese and written by Steven Zaillian. It's based upon the book I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandon. The movie unites some of the best living actors in the genre, including Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. It even stars Ray Romano, Bobby Cannavale, Anna Paquin, Stephen Graham, and Harvey Keitel. It has a 96% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and was even nominated for 10 Academy Awards, 5 Golden Globes, and 10 BAFTAs. The Irishman is based on a relatively true story about the mafia and disappearance of the famous teamster Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino. Robert De Niro stars as the popular Irishman Frank Sheeran, who is a truck driver that eventually becomes a hitman for a mobster named Russell Bufalino, played by Joe Pesci. For any fans of Scorsese's previous work, this is an absolutely must-see film. Number 5, Murder Mystery. Murder Mystery is a comedy mystery movie produced by Happy Madison Productions. It stars Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, and Luke Evans, and was eventually directed by Kyle Newchek of Warlocks fame and was written by James Vanderbilt. As far back as 2012, Charlie Theron was supposed to star in the film but eventually dropped out. It was filmed in Italy and has a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. Murder Mystery is about a couple consisting of New York City police officer Nick Spitz, played by Adam Sandler, and hairdresser Audrey Spitz, played by Jennifer Aniston. They end up going on a European trip where they get tangled into a murder investigation on a billionaire's yacht. As the movie's name implies, the plot revolves around a classic mystery story where the audience must look at the clues and suspects to determine what happened. It capitalizes on a good cast and even a great location to end up providing a fun and entertaining experience. Number 4, Six Underground. Six Underground is an action thriller directed by Michael Bay and was written by Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, which stars Ryan Reynolds, Melanie Laurent, Manuel Garcia Ruffalo, Audrey Jorna, Courtney Hawkes, Ben Hardy, and Dave Franco. It was filmed all over the world and features some incredible stunts, set pieces, and action. It was released in 2019 and cost $150 million to produce, but currently only has a 35% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. From the very first seconds of Six Underground, even without knowing anything about the film going into it, it's obvious that it was made by Michael Bay. It has way over-the-top, fast-paced action, a pumping soundtrack, witty dialogue, and crazy special effects. The story follows a group of anonymous vigilantes which are funded by an unnamed American billionaire and philanthropist as they work to take down criminals and terrorists. Each member of the squad has a number for a name and a special skill set like spy, doctor, thief, and driver. Number 3, Spencer Confidential. Spencer Confidential is an action comedy film released in June 2018 that stars Mark Wahlberg, Winston Duke, Alan Arkin, Eliza Schillinger, Bokeem Woodbine, Donald Caron, Mark Maron, and Post Malone. It was written by Sean O'Keefe and Brian Heeglin and directed by Peter Berg. The movie was initially based on Robert B. Parker's Wonderland by Alice Atkins, but differs a great deal from the story of the book. This is now the 5th film that both Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg have been together, which have included other films such as Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, and Mile 22. Currently, this film has a 38% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Spencer Confidential is about a Boston detective named Spencer, played by Mark Wahlberg, who ends up losing his job and going to jail, only to come out a few years later and get wrapped up in the corruption and crimes of the law enforcement that he used to work with. The movie is targeted at fans of Mark Wahlberg's previous films and delivers that same quality of entertainment that one should expect, with a few laughs mixed in there as well. Number 2, Bird Box. Bird Box is a post-apocalyptic horror thriller released in December 2018 and was written by Eric Heiserer and directed by Suzanne Bier. It's based upon a book by Josh Malerman and stars Sandra Bullock, Lil Ray Howery, Pandemir Naga, Trevante Rhodes, Tom Hollander, Rebecca Pidgeon, Jackie Weaver, John Malkovich, Machine Gun Kelly, and more. It was filmed in California and currently sits with a 63% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Bird Box is about Mallory Hayes, played by Sandra Bullock, who is a woman who tries to protect herself as well well as her two children from evil supernatural entities that make people who look at them kill themselves. The movie takes place in two periods, 5 years apart, one of which is a post-apocalyptic world. It is of course dark, violent, and scary, but there is a lot of emotion as well between Bullock and the children. Lastly, number 1, Extraction. Extraction is an action thriller that stars Chris Hemsworth and was released in April of 2020. The film was directed by Sam Hargrave and written by Joe Russo. The film is based on a graphic novel called Cuidad by Andre Parks, Joe Russo, Anthony Russo, Fernando Leon Gonzalez, and Eric Skillman. The film also stars many Indian actors such as Rudrashka Joshwal, Randeep Huda, Goldshifa Farah Hindi, Punky Tibarathi, and David Harbour. It was filmed in India, Bangladesh, and Thailand and sits at a 67% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Extraction is about a black market mercenary and former SASR operator named Tyler Rake, played by Chris Hemsworth, who's tasked with rescuing an Indian drug lord's kidnapped son in Dhaka, Bangladesh. It is a violence and action-packed film from start to finish. It is a very much more serious role than fans are used to seeing Hemsworth in, but he certainly has the physicality as well as charisma to be able to carry the gritty story. So that wraps up our list of Netflix most watched films of all time. We'll see you next time.